Hey y'all, we did not want to sit on this episode, so you are going to hear questions at the beginning being answered by Damo and Juice from the One Band as they sat in on our conversation briefly, which you guys will hear more from them coming up later on in the season. Welcome to the stage, Damo. How you doing?
I'm good.
It just feels like a very candid conversation. So,
I know.
Juice,
Hold on. Juice, welcome to the first time on the DMV's Vibe podcast.
Yes.
Oh, what's up, niggas? What it do?
Niggas. Man, we niggas.
Niggas.
All right. Thank you for joining us. You know, we Damo is a regular on the show at this point.
Would you like to come back and be a part of our relationship segment?
Relationship segment?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fine.
What questions do you think are important in dating and getting in?
Oh, we're doing the segment now. Oh, okay. You
How many kids you got?
You said what questions are important when dating?
Zero. No crazy.
Honestly, that's actually
but
that's actually valid though. Nowadays, you actually do have to ask like not even do you have kids, but how many kids you got? Because it's very rare that you'll find somebody who don't have kids at our age or older. So that is a good question to ask. And another thing,
how many baby mamas is too many?
How many baby mamas?
Yeah. Well, how many baby fathers?
Oh, baby fathers. One is too many. Seriously, one is too many. Like you have to also like say if you had 3 kids with one dude, those 3 kids are alone too fucking much. So me accepting the baby daddy too, that's too much. Now if you had 2 kids with 2 different baby daddies, now I'm starting to think you're out. Because now I feel like you just letting everybody shoot your club up. Now if you got 4 kids and 3 baby daddies, now sweetheart, look, you need to put your pussy on eBay and sell it because it is out of order. Okay, and you need to get an update version. No good. Pussy's worn. Walls just like, no. Just done. It's done, bruh. It's fucking crazy. Then another one is another question that you can ask is, what do you want out of life? You know, that's a good question. Can nobody have no motive or drive nowadays?
Nah, bro, it's outside the line.
Everybody just want to make, live off of each other.
Facts.
We're very excited about the content that we did get while we were in Greensboro, North Carolina. But I'm going to go ahead and let y'all hear some music briefly as we transition into the second portion of our conversation.
I think he said no kids. And then I was like, I can deal with somebody who has multiple by one versus multiple by multiple women. Because that's a lot. That's where we was at, and then it went left.
I done already dated people with kids. So at this point, it's like, I get it. Because mid-30s, almost everybody got kids. So it would be unfair for me to be out here and be like, no, I'm not dating nobody with no kids. And I done been there, did that. It is what it is at this point.
I just don't want a lot of kids. Don't have a lot of kids and don't have a lot of baby mamas.
Yeah, now that part I don't like. Like, 6 kids, 6 baby mamas is crazy.
Oh yeah, that's way so many people, personalities, attitudes. I decline.
Yeah. And then also like at some point you didn't learn self control. I think that's a big thing now. Being at this age is what did you learn from it? Where have you grown? What areas have you worked on? Your intentions, um, more so your needs over your wants.
And
But
I
that,
think people haven't learned that though.
yeah,
And I feel like as a woman, when we say things like we don't need a man, but we want a man, it gets taken out of like context.
sex.
I'm tired of being a strong, independent black woman. Okay. All right.
Right.
Take me out. Pick me up. Put gas in my car. Go wash my car for me. Like, my thing is, and I told somebody this the other day, like, I'm never going to require a man to do more for me than I can do for myself. I'm not asking you to pay for my nails. I'm not asking you to pay for my hair. I'm not asking you to spend $200 on me first date. I'm not asking for none of that. Anything that you do outside of what I already do for myself is extra. I want you here.
Right. And I think that's what it may get kind of like crossfire because when we talk about, things we need versus what we want, like, no, okay, so this is what I need from a person, but I don't need that person because your needs can sound like wants when it crosses over certain topics. Like, I want companionship, but depending on your energy, I might not need that energy for my life. Um, I also saw it's like a clip going viral right now of Kirk Franklin
Yes,
interview with Cam Newton, and
very
he,
so wholeheartedly.
yes, he hit the pin the tail on the donkey for real because, and I'm not gonna say it's not even just like the elders or like I'm not even gonna say it's just like people who are extremely religious. But a lot of people in the older community, it's not that they shun us, but they're always trying to push us into something that we may not even want ourselves. So it's not that I don't want to be married, it's that I'm not going to settle for just anybody.
But I also feel like I don't feel like he was talking about your identity. My identity is not in my husband or my kids.
Right.
Like, my identity is always going to be for me. It's going to be who I am. And I don't feel like having to hurry up and get married is going to validate me or validate my life. My life is very valuable. And I'm happy without kids. I'm happy to not be married. Like, I think sometimes when I think about like the elders and the church folk,
Mm-hmm.
like, being single in your 30s is way different than being singles in your 50s and 60s. I get it as you get older. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be single forever. Like, I don't want to be 55 and still looking for love. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't feel like your life is almost at an end when you're in your 30s. And I feel like that's how they look at it. Like, if you don't have a
Mm-hmm.
kid by this time, then you're never going to have kids. If you're not married by 35, you're never going to get married. Like, who came up with this?
Yeah, who put those time
Standard.
restrictions and limitations and then pushed it out into society to make it seem that way? Because,
Do you know how many people in our age group have gotten divorced?
man, a lot.
Or are in the process of getting divorced on a second marriage already at 35. What we doing?
Because when you realize that even though you're an adult in your 20s, you're still learning yourself. You're still learning yourself how to maneuver in different environments. You still some people like I still trying to figure out, okay, well this is what I went to school with, but this is not what I want to do. Like career changes happen in your late 20s, early 30s, like the pressures of just basic life is enough, and then adding on people's dating pressures or requests and requirements they want from you. Is like, please, right now I'm just trying to master my peace. That's what I'm.
Okay.
I
And
don't.
that's
Go ahead.
and I was gonna say, and that's really like a part of it. I feel like for me, I didn't really come into my own until I turned 30. It's like literally when you turn 30, it's like a light bulb that goes off your head, and you like, you know what? My 30s is mine, so I'm not worried about the standards or the pressures of being married and all that other stuff. Like, I am coming into my own. I feel like I'm transforming even more. So it's like I like it here. If y'all see me out on a date, just mind your business. Okay.
That part.
All right. We out here, we chilling. We living life. Nobody said you had to be married with kids at 35. Nobody said you had to do that at 40 either. So
And every time people start talking about them age restrictions and limitations, I just be like, some people didn't even get popping in their rap career until after 35. So
yeah, it's a lot of actors and actresses that didn't get their big breaks until they was almost 40 or over 40, you know? So when it's your time, it's your time. And that's just what it is. Y'all be rushing. That's why y'all be getting these divorces, because y'all be marrying the wrong people.
hello. And and the thing about that is that now that I know who I am and like how we always had conversations, well, women say they know what they want, but then when they get it, they don't even really know. And now it makes sense when you're in your 20s and you, I'm gonna say in college, as you transition outside of that college age to um the world, you really just be like, okay, this is what I've been used to, but
Mm-hmm.
most times you haven't really met a healed version of a person because a lot of people had traumas that they haven't healed from. You still have to navigate yourself in the world and your emotions and how to process. While you may be skilled in a lot of other things, um, I feel like as you build better communication in different environments, you can take some of those skills to use and apply towards friendships, relationships,
Mm-hmm.
learning to ask the right questions. Like I talked about this before with my friends, and I was telling him like my dad has always been present in my life, but I'll say the one thing that he never taught me and my sister is what we should be asking men when we're going out on dates.
I can understand that one.
So and like my dad to me, he might have struggled in some areas, but when I say he was a great provider for his family, yes. He's always shown up that way. Um, he did give us like some ground rules about what to tolerate and what not to tolerate. But as far as like really like okay, so um I'm you already your parents pretty much know your personality, and so it can kind of help guide you through conversations. But sometimes I know that we can be like a little stubborn and we don't want to always hear it. But it took into this last tumultuous relationship for my dad to be like, well, I mean, I did see that. I'm just like, so why didn't you say nothing? If you think that
they be trying to run their business and they, this is your person.
I was like, but you seen something and you didn't say nothing. So when it ended really bad and you seen me in the midst of going through all this stuff, you still could have said something. Then you waited till I done boohoo cried, like I was heartbroken and trying to move on. And then once I'm healed, you want to say that you seen it. How did that help me? I just feel like I don't know. I'm saying probably that generation.
So I say it's a generational
Yeah,
thing.
it's like they are torn. They they speak up at all the wrong times to me. Like you want to complain about something that's out.
When necessary, it's for the unnecessary things. But it's like when you saw these things as my father, you should have been like, hey, this, that, and the third.
Yeah,
Not after the fact.
like just because I'm an adult don't mean you stop protecting me if you seen something, especially if you know. Like I said, them dads they be knowing their girls, especially if they have a good bond with their dads. Like you seen me
That, yeah,
going
the dad,
going through my worst days, and you just chose to just watch it from afar. Like she gonna figure it out. Like nigga, no, that's not what I needed in that moment. Like I feel like that's where a lot of men can sometimes drop the balls because they don't have that. I'm not gonna say they don't have emotional intelligence, but it's not to where most daughters need it.
I feel like that generation, because these are things that I'm actually unpacking in therapy right now. I'm very transparent about that as well. Um, but I really think it's a generational thing because they were taught to like not show emotions, not cry. Like they always gotta be these tough macho men, right? So that's something that our generation is trying to break.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I feel like it's also a thing with being the eldest daughter. Because
Man,
I feel like even though I'm the only daughter, still the eldest daughter, and I feel like that they feel like we're so strong, but like at the end of the day, we still need our dad. Like the same way, we need our moms. Like still need our parents. You know what I'm saying? As long as you here, I'ma need you. And
mm-hmm.
they don't see it like that because even though they still view us as they little girls, but they also like, you've gotten through so much before, or I've seen you get through things before. So I don't think they don't really check in on us in that sense because they feel like we the strong ones.
Yep.
So I think
And my dad said out his own words, like, I know you're not the child I have to worry about. And I just be like, but sometimes I am. Like, I know I have my moments where I just disappear on everybody. And it's because I just feel like I've already done it so far, so long of, I'm going to figure out how to figure this problem out without putting it on anybody else because that's the only thing that I've known. And unfortunately, the only way that I get through it now is to still, okay, Kendra, you got to slow everything down around you. Focus on this. But I have gotten better with, I would say, asking for help or recognizing when I might be approaching survival mode and I don't need to.
Yeah, I'm definitely at a point where when people ask me if I'm like a good, if I trust you, I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm not okay. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to not be okay. So if I'm not feeling it, you know what I'm saying, when I get my date, like when I get my check-ins with Mike, good sis, good, good. If I'm not, he'd be like, all right, call me real quick. So being able just to feel comfortable and feel safe with that. And then also, I've been unpacking this in therapy too, is I've never felt safe in my emotions in any romantic relationships. But all of my male friends, my brothers, platonic relationships, they have always made me feel safe in my feelings and my emotions. But I never felt safe like in a romantic situation. And I think, them questions you got asked, like, or let people know. That's something that I let a man know. Like, if you want to deal with me on that level, you got to make me feel safe
Yep.
emotionally.
And
Because my last relationship, I did not feel safe emotionally with him, because every time I did show vulnerability, it got thrown back in my face in some shape, way, or fashion.
I wholeheartedly understand that. I've always felt like my emotional intelligence and empathy have always not matched my partners. And so they could never meet me where I needed them. And I think it bothered me so much because it took me a long time to recognize that I had abandonment issues, and that came out in a relationship. And I had to sit down and talk to my dad and work through that in therapy, and then work through that with him, and understand that I think that's why my mentality changed so much, is where now when I date, I don't have like an attachment, but I think that also bothers people because they want to feel like the best way to say it, like, I'm extremely invested in them. And it's like I am invested, but I'm now so not naive,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm just like all in. It's like we just gonna take it at whatever pace it is. I'm not rushing nobody. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean I like you any less. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm not that girl that's just gonna be on your dick 24/7. That's just not where I'm at with it.
It's that unhealthy attachment. And I think like that's like a cycle that you see a lot of times, because people be wanting to go so fast, and it's like, slow down. I'm interested in you, obviously, because I'm responding, whatever. But I don't like to feel smothered with like real fast, because then it's gonna make me want to back up and be like, all right, bro, because you're doing too much. So I think we are in that cycle with the
Yeah.
unhealthy attachments. But I've gotten the same thing with these, be like, you just so nonchalant. Well, what do you want me to be? Like, I text you good
Yeah.
morning, check up on you, we communicating. Like, I don't know.
I don't know what people be expecting. It's like
From jump.
it's like even if we have crossed them lines and gone into the physical aspect, I'm still would never be that girl that's just gonna be like on you 24/7. It's like, bro, I got a life too. I don't just I don't sit at home and do nothing, twiddle my thumbs. I got a bunch of free time. Like, we all got lives and we keep it moving. If I communicate with you, clearly I like you.
That part. If I'm letting you know, like, hey babe, I'm doing this, I got this going on. Let's do this, that, and the third. Yes, I like you. I'm
Um,
interested.
and I'm just gonna go off of what happened. Like, this probably was like a month ago. So I met somebody, we exchanged numbers, and we were talking about like availability and free time. So I tell people straight off the rip, like, most times on weekdays, getting me to like have an in-depth long conversation, I'm sorry, you might not get that from me during the week. I don't have no problem talking, but definitely not on the Monday. I said, because that's my job, but it doesn't mean that I don't care about you and your day, and we can still talk about it. It's just like, you gotta give me some grace because I just be burnt out. He went to the full extreme And after me explaining it, and I was like, well, so we talked one day and we was on the phone for like 20 minutes. We were talking through all of that. And then I was like, well, I'm about to run in the grocery store. I'll call you once I get back home and get settled. Oh, you don't have to call me back today.
Oh, he started doing much
I was
over.
like, oh, okay. But then you want to hit me a couple days later and say, hey, how you been? Haven't heard from you. Nigga, no. Because now what I said was not that complicated to understand. You already know what I do. So it's like, I don't have no problem telling people what I'm capable of offering in the front and where I'm at with things. Now, how you perceive it, I can't change that. I can't
Yeah.
change your perception. But I feel like I give people the honesty that I want.
And also, letting them know to extend grace, and you would extend them the same grace.
Exactly. Like, I'm not a person that we don't have to call each other every day. Cause I don't know. It's probably just me being a little bit stuck in my ways. Like if I live together with somebody, we would talk every single day. But if we don't live with each other, like a 10-minute conversation on some days is fine. I'm not going to be upset at a 10-minute phone call if we communicating throughout the day through text. Like, I don't know. People don't be understanding that
A
when you have
text,
to interact. Yeah,
so
when you got to interact with the public for long periods of time, like it is extremely draining. I don't think some of y'all know how uh,
no, I get
stupid
it.
human species can be.
The minds of America every day.
Yes.
But yeah, you call me, you better text me. Shit, no call, no shows.
Like, I ain't saying don't say nothing. We definitely gonna say something.
And don't text me at no 2 o'clock in the morning, because I just went off on somebody for doing that, sir. What? Sir, lose my number. Don't text me at 2 o'clock in the morning over explaining why I haven't heard from you, sir. I do not care. Move around.
I done got FaceTime calls at 5 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to know who who told you I would be up at that time. Cause I'll never be up at 5 o'clock in the morning unless I'm about to go on a trip.
Oh, I'll be. But for those of us that's in the 4 a.m. gym crew, that would be me.
Yes, shout out to you, early morning birds. Um, I think I'm gonna forever be a late night girly. That's all I can give.
I need my sleep, honey. I'm sitting in these glasses right now.
Um, so we talked about asking about kids and co-parenting is important. Um, I think we also talked about how your relationship with your parents, and when I say parent, I don't just mean guys with their dads, guys with their moms as well, and it goes both ways for females. Like your relationship with your parents, as we've talked about several times before, it does shape your relationships with people.
Yes. I'm trying to tell y'all. Therapy be having me in there like I'm dating my dad.
And,
Like
and then
y'all
y'all know
thing.
we talk about therapy and how it can really help. It's not just somebody trying to pick your life apart. It's somebody trying to help you navigate through what has taken place in your life and how you may be able to improve your quality of life in your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's a super big tool. Um,
Definitely is. And I think like sometimes really take a look at like your friendships, your relationships, and you'll start to see elements of your parents and people. Um, Definitely started realizing that with my dad. But like I always tell people I'm a girl's girl because my mom was my biggest cheerleader. So I've always been like, you got a girl, like compliment, like, cause that's me, like gassing people up. Like I will tell a girl, like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. Like, you know, I'm a girl's girl. And then you realize some people, when they got females, have issues with their mothers, they have issues with female friends. And I've seen that firsthand. I've seen firsthand people have issues with their mother, and you see how it translates into their relationships with their friends.
Mm-hmm. And for y'all who don't know, yes, Phyllis really does. She really is like that 24/7 all the time.
All the time.
And we so not I know and I speak on behalf of our sister circle too. Like she sends the most uplifting messages to us, and she is very supportive, and she be out here supporting everybody. Like she said on the previous show, if one of her friends is selling the wet paper bag, she's gonna be there and support.
Yeah, that's me all day, every day.
um as far as additional questions that I think are important, um I would probably have to say, what I've learned more now is asking, what does a healthy relationship look like to you? What does it consist of? How do you want someone to support you if you're having a rough day or going through some things? Like, how do you how do you deal with having a rough day or a disagreement? Those questions have become like super important to me because of how much I've worked on my own anger and frustration. So now I need to know, like, okay, when you're problem solving, what do you do?
Yeah, I asked somebody that before. I asked them, I said, who's your go-to person? I said, like, when you going through stuff, like, who do you talk to? And he was like, oh, my mother. So I think asking that. I think also you need to ask about medical history. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying like, like diving deep, but like, do they go to the doctor like they're supposed to? Do they get regularly tested? Do they get their all their annuals? Do they go to the dentist? You need to ask these questions because you will be surprised how many men do not take care of themselves.
Yep.
I ask men now, do you take any vitamins? Do you have a skin regimen? I need to know because black bone can crack eventually if you don't take care of it. But I need to know because I take care of myself. I work out. I eat semi right these days. Take my vitamins. So I need to know, like, baby, I'm trying to live long. So I need you to live long with me. So I think we need to ask some questions too. I use
Yeah.
mine.
It's definitely important. Like, I know for me, problem solving or with any type of disagreement, it's better for me, like, give me a minute. I'm not saying wait till tomorrow. Just give me like 15 minutes. Let me process your standpoint. Let me get my thoughts together. Um, I think every couple should have a plan and a safe space or a safe word where if it's getting too heated, okay, we got to table this. Well, I'm gonna give you a moment to process your thoughts before we have this conversation. I think it would save a lot of those moments where people respond harshly because of their emotions, and really just lead with logic. That's one thing I've learned over the last couple of years is like emotions aside, we can process the emotions in a minute, but let's think the logic.
I know for me, I saw any guy that I deal with, I saw my ex the same thing. I'm a processor and I'm like that with everything and everybody. So it's really hard to get a true emotional response out of me. I get annoyed, but that's like, whatever. But for me to like really go off, for me to really get mad, for me to like immediately like that is built up over time. And all my friends who have ever seen me like that do not like to see me like that because they literally said it scares them. Because I'm not that type of person. But I definitely will tell, tell anybody I say I'm a processor. So sometimes we'll have a conversation. You gotta give me a minute. I said, and then I'll replay it over to make sure I heard things right. That might be the Scorpio in me. I was like, so for me, you gotta give me time. And then I said, I always like to respond with logic versus emotions. And I really learned that from working with the type of kids that I work with. Like a few days ago, I'm having a conversation and the person got loud and I said, hey, why you yelling? Because I don't feel like you listening. No, I'm listening. But why you yelling? And brought it back down. Because I'm not dealing with nothing that I don't have to deal with. So I tell and processor, and that's for me. The minute that you raise your voice at me, I shut down completely, all the way down. So that's another thing. Like when we get into a disagreement, I'm not gonna holler and raise my voice. If I raise my voice, I've had enough. But other than that, I'm not gonna holler at you because you screaming, I'm screaming, nobody's being heard. So I let them know that too. Like I actually had a guy I was dating. He was like, "I'm legit scared of you because you're never mad. Like you'll never be kirking. What am I kirk for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I see something, I just note it and I stay watch. You know what I'm saying? But just know if I do come out, it's gonna be receipts, and I'm gonna be real calm, and I'm gonna have a smile on my face. Now that may sound like I'm crazy, but that's
Hey, man. I tell people all the time, and they say, "Man, you the nicest, meanest person I ever met." I said, "Well, I thank you, I guess, but I feel like I can get my point across and still say it with a smile because I meant what I said.
standing on the business.
Yeah, I meant what I said, and sometimes you got to show people the hard way, like." I gave you this warning. I gave you this opportunity. Your time has now come to an end. What Shawnee say? Thank you for your services. Like I have no problem telling people goodbye. Like we don't got no more time to waste. People is too old to be playing. One
Yeah,
of my 2024 like statements is people who lie to get what they want. That's predatory behavior. Like this man tried to debate with me about it. I said, so if you lie to every female to try and have sex with them after you already know what they want, you're a predator.
I might be trying to tell you. Yeah, that's definitely predator behavior. And those men who won't leave the females alone,
Oh
they
my
try to put them down. That's predatory behavior. I don't like it.
man, maybe one day y'all get an episode of me talking about my dating experience at the top of the year. But I'm just relishing in the fact that they finally left me alone. But I will say, even though I've had some experiences that nobody would probably believe me unless I wrote a book about it, um, I haven't lost hope of finding my person, and I still am able to open up and be vulnerable and understand that it's a risk. And I think a lot of people in our generation have shunned away from a healthy relationship, actually valuing relationships or even marriages because of the stigma that has been around it or the examples that they've seen. Uh, no marriage is going to be good and perfect like y'all be seeing in these movies. They're called fairy tales. There's it's going to require work. Any relationship requires work. So I think it's just important to ask the right questions, be honest and upfront about your needs in that relationship. Um, and don't be having blind expectations of your partner or potential partner. And please be, if you're gonna be one thing, be for real. Be fucking for real and realistic. Because I've heard a lot of these people's expectations and things that they want, and I just be like, who is giving you that? Where are you getting it from? Who
That's
told you that? Exactly.
that's exactly why they're still single.
Yes, but I'll hope, now that we're more than halfway through 2024, is that the singles who are left that actually, one day want to be married, we hope that you cross paths with your person, whoever
Okay,
it may be.
manifesting it. I'm trying to be in matching pajamas by December, but that
That's a little bit too quick for me, but maybe Valentine's Day era, maybe somewhere around there. Hopefully by my next birthday, I have a romantic partner to travel with. But we're definitely, we're hopeful people, but we're also living our life,
period.
enjoying it. I will say, if you're a parent, we don't know what y'all go through as single parents. We're not trying to, change y'all views, perspectives, or anything. But I will say, as someone who has a parent that I've seen struggle with their identity outside of being a parent, please take time to do things for yourself. If you have to go on a journey to rediscover yourself, please take the time to do it, so that as your child grows, and they will get to a point where they're going to act like they don't need you, and you got to let go of your superhero complex, and you still have to be an individual outside of being a parent.
Mhm.
Um, Fearless, I guess. I'm gonna regret saying this, but every time I go after you, I never know what to say. But I'm gonna let you have your words of wisdom.
All right, so my words of wisdom are simple because I was looking up at my wall today in my room, and I have this quote that I wrote, and I looked up and it says, "Follow your dreams and live fearless." And that's all I want y'all to do. Just follow y'all dreams and live fearless. Live your best life. Do what you need to do for yourself. Do what is necessary to center yourself. Okay? Find that new version of you because we're always growing, we're always blossoming. Okay? So I just want y'all to follow your dreams and always remember to live fearless.
Okay. I would have to say the word of wisdom for this week is, don't let your fears take you outside of a room that you're destined to be in to begin with. Um,
That's a
know
good one.
that you are good enough for everything that you deserve, everything that all your needs that need to be met. You are good enough to deserve it. So don't run away from it. Don't shy away from it. Um, Nothing comes easy, and if you're uncomfortable, that means you're growing.
Yes.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in for Wind Down Wednesdays.
Love y'all.
Love y'all. We see y'all later.
Bye.